messing with me. Ah, the camera says live cam. Well, that's got to mean something, right? Good morning. Good morning. I'm just going to put the other camera on, and we'll be moving forward. Hang on a second here. While I do that, we might as well give you something really cool to look at, right? So I'm going to do this. Dink. And then I'm going to do this. As soon as I can figure out how to do it. There we go. There we go. You're wondering about this picture. I'm seriously hoping you're wondering about this picture. Aha, there it is. There it is. And there it is. Yes. Alrighty then. Good morning, everyone. I'm 2 minutes early, and just before I unleash myself on all you unsuspecting creatures. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy 5th day of birthday month, 2022. I have a really cool picture that I want to share with you. And it's important because the story today, the theme today, the conversation today is about Pivotry and Partners. So check this out. Do we love this picture? I'm going to tell you something really quite extraordinary about this picture. And it's part of a Pivotry Partners conversation that happened a while ago. So I've had this photograph, the original of this photograph, for I had it with me because we were talking about how we were going to do an event, and I said, "Can I use this?" And I held up the original. I said, "I can get this printed." And he lunged at it. A little alarming. He lunged at it and said, "Where did you get this?" And I said, "Hello, I don't believe we've met. I used to work on this show." And he said, No. He said, "Everybody signed it." Everybody signed it, boys and girls. Everybody signed it. And I said, "Well, we all signed it. It's our cast souvenir photo." And he said, I haven't seen one of these. I've only heard about it. I thought they were all gone." And I said, "Well, they're not all gone." And so he said, "Well, we need to keep that, and you need to get a ton of copies made because it's important. It's important that for fans, but also for the participants, to remember the moment when we all stopped doing what else we were doing and got together to sign this memory." Icing on the cake layer that we didn't just pose for these static shots and say, "When is it over?" and I'll be in my trailer. We got together and we went through the whole thing. We signed, one for each of us, and probably a few more. And during a show, you're asked to autograph a lot of things, and a lot of people get very tired of that happening because, writer's cramp. To me, it's a way of connecting to the person who values the souvenir for their reasons, for their memories, for their, excuse me, I'm only going to do that one time there, for their moments that mean something to them about a special time in their lives. So this picture is the first cast picture that I was involved in. And they took pictures that I wasn't part of. This is the original crew that I worked with. This is the 1982 crew. And so the other reason this picture is pretty important is that this year, 1982, is my anniversary. This is my anniversary year, 40th anniversary of me as mom. And all the other characters, the librarian and Aunt Pookie, my. All those other people. Mom is the one that everyone remembers predominantly. And so I'm saying it's Mom's anniversary. And this is such a cool image. It's so different because normally when you're on a show, you have a cast of 6 or maybe 10 and a few extras. I had 120 children over the course of that show. And I think I've kept my figure quite remarkably. I had 120 children. This group alone was the core that I worked with on a regular basis. That's a lot of people to have a family with. That's a lot of partners, all facing the same way, all pointed in the general direction of the same goal. And we were all different ages, vastly different ages. And yet, we all got it. We all understood. We were all in it to win it. We all had our seats on the boat. And that is such a rare and fabulous thing to realize, to be part of, that it's worth having a souvenir of. Not only as part of that team, part of that crew, but for people who loved the show, for people who grew up identifying with any number of these kids who always wanted to be coming out of the locker and telling one of those lame jokes, always wanted to be, at the firing squad, always wanted to either get watered or slimed. This is the souvenir moment that they can hang on to and say, boy, I wish I could Photoshop my face in. And you know what? You probably can. You probably have the talent and the tools and the technology to do that. I, not so much, but I'm already there. So isn't that a cool way to start a conversation about partners? To see an actual partnership, an actual rendering, a souvenir of partners who liked each other. There's another thing. A lot of projects, a lot of productions, a lot of groups, teams, they don't like each other. They suck it up. We actually liked each other. There is not a single child, or grown-up for that matter, on that page, that I had any negative issues with. I thought they were wonderful, every single one of them, because they brought their best selves to the table. They looked me in the eye. We had conversations, and then we got to do crazy work together. That's a Pivotry partnership. Isn't that cool? All right. Enough about them. And, yes. Hello, everyone. Mom says hello. So, here we are. The 5th of birthday month. My day is on the 16th. It's a big deal. It's a big deal that I'm here. It's a big deal that I made it and that I'm alive and well and facing the front. It's a big deal. And pivoting is part of keeping that big deal in motion, greasing the wheels, and giving me focus to do things that are exciting, that challenge me, that create tribe that I can belong to and be part of and celebrate with. I have one more. I think I only have one more. No, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I have 2 more interviews. One of them is going to be Wednesday, and I can't wait. And the other one I still have to book because he's such a busy guy that he's never around and never available, and he's a longtime friend. So all of these Pivotry stories, all of these Pivotry in Motion collaborators are individuals who have reached out to connect to me for their reasons. Either they were fans of the show or they're on social media and they've, stumbled on my posts and they think I'm crazy, or I've met them at live events and we've discovered that we, have the same psychology in mind about how we're there and why we're there and where we want the place to be and what we want the event to do. And so we have kind of become family. And it's a lovely time, birthday month. It's a lovely time to say, okay, so this is the month that I'm celebrating family. I'm celebrating anniversary. I'm celebrating the fact that we didn't just do it once and call it a day. We are revisiting it on a regular basis and polishing it and, nudging it a little bit and saying, ooh, it looks great over there by the window. Well, let's do it that way. And so what we're doing, we're keeping it alive. We're keeping our plans alive. And why this matters is that it's easy to get stale. It's easy to get exhausted and stuck in a rut when things are more difficult, more challenging, more tough than we expected. I'm just going to pause for a second, hold that thought, because people are joining me. All right. Good morning, Charles. It's awesome to see you. You really love the picture. The picture is amazing. Hola, Garen. Hola. Freddie, I'm on a train to Chicago right now. Freddie, how awesome is that? You're going to go see Chris and you're going to make a movie. I saw your post. I'm only 90% jealous. Only 90%. And Freddie, once you and Chris sit down and look at your schedule, we'll figure out when the three of us are going to talk. That's going to be amazing. How cool. Karen, I remember Matthew me my memories of us hunting each other with water guns in high school. So Garen and Matthew and many hundreds of kids went to a remarkable high school in Ottawa, a performing arts high school. If you remember the movie Fame, there were quite a few high schools that popped up around the world. Good morning, Steve. How are you? Well, this high school in Ottawa, Canterbury High School for the Performing Arts, was essentially Ottawa's answer to Fame. And I think it's fair to say, because I knew a lot of the kids and worked with many of them and coached many more, that one of the prerequisites, aside from having some kind of specific talent, some creative talent, and of course your ability to maintain your grades, is that there had to be a part of you that was certifiably a nut job, like a total lunatic. And, kids were encouraged to chase each other down the hallways with water pistols. They learned their lines for Shakespeare. This is genius. The prof who taught them how to learn their lines for Shakespeare, because Shakespeare is Old English and it doesn't roll off the tongue. So what he did with the kids was he got them to learn how to ride unicycles. That's a one-wheel bicycle, right? That's like surfing without the water. And so while they were learning to stay afloat on their unicycles and ride around the rooms and whatnot, they were running their lines. They were learning how to use, think about this, you see, they were using their cave brain to take care of the repetition while they were using their strategic brain to think creatively. When you put the two together, you don't over-focus on either one. So this brilliant prof was teaching them how to let their brains run free. Yes, Jim McNabb. Jim McNabb was teaching them how to let their brains run free so that they could embrace Shakespeare just the way they talked. As a result, when these kids got up on stage and performed Shakespeare, everybody understood them because they spoke like it was normal. They didn't da 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 like it was a poem. It was brilliant. These profs at this school had all at some point in time been competitive, creative, collaborative, working, creative people, performers, producers, artists, musicians, dancers, you name it. And these people were teaching these kids to think outside the box and connect and communicate and pivot their way through life in partnership. Very cool. So that's all part of the fabric of this crazy, wonderful photo, that some of these kids were part of two connected, overlapping training grounds that taught them how to recognize the fact that we're all in this together. And for this video this morning, I've written a little header, and Pivotry Partnership is not "you're the wind beneath my wings." This is not "I'm the star and you need to hand me another peeled grape." Pivotry Partners are people who hold us accountable. They challenge us. One of my favorite things about working with Pivotry Partners is they're the kinds of people you never want to turn your back on when you're performing, because you have no idea what they're going to do. And that's good, because it keeps you sharp. It keeps you excited. It keeps you focused. It keeps you on your game. And so this whole conversation this morning is about connecting with those people who keep you honest, who keep you engaged, because you do the same with them and for them. Together, we are a remarkable force to be reckoned with. It's awesome, isn't it? I just love that. Okay, hang on a second. Freddie, you're going to call me on Wednesday. Freddie, we're going to have to talk about that, because I have a call already on Wednesday. That's all right. Steve said, "Good morning. I live around the corner from Canterbury." Steve, Statham, you live around the corner from Canterbury. Have you had to put up fencing just to protect yourself? Do you have alarms around your house? I can't imagine what it would have been like if you live in the area of Canterbury for Halloween. I mean, what that must have been like when they showed up at your house, or for the Easter egg hunts, or collecting for things. My goodness, can you imagine these creatures showing up and randomly winging it? It's an incredible memory. All right, you're fine, thanks. Well, that's good to hear, Steve. That's good to hear. All right, I'm not clicking on everything because I got a lot I'm sort of thinking about, but I'm seeing you. I see you, and I'm responding. So, first of all, today, backlighting. Today, I had an idea. Backlighting are us. So today, the idea that I am proposing to add to our recipe for awesomeness is the idea that we are pivotry creatures who gravitate to partners who give us maximum power, maximum wattage, maximum reach, maximum retention, recognition, and legacy. Pivotry Partners. What a great idea, right? Okay. So I've shown you the picture, and I'm going to show it again because it's such an awesome picture. I've reminded you that ideas are us. Now I have to go back and start at the beginning because I jumped right in. Today, as I said, it's the 5th day of birthday month, and it is also very, very exciting. It's just a little over 2 weeks until my first live event this year. I did one live event briefly in a little interlude in the COVID stuff. This year, I'm doing 3. I'm doing 3 because I got asked, and I said yes because I love live events, and it's the 40th anniversary of All Things Awesome. So, are we going to party? Gee, let me think about that for a moment. I don't know. Yes, of course we're going to party. We're going to have a wonderful time. It's going to be amazing because you're going to be there. I'm going to be there. And you can't do that on television. Original, official lockers are going to be there. You, when you come to the event, are going to be able to go backstage, open a locker door, stick your head out, and have your picture taken. Just like you were one of the kids. Is that remarkable? Is that amazing? Do I feel fairly clever? Yes, yes, yes. It's so exciting, and it's also a royal pain in everything because it's just the lockers, the doors in a frame so that we can open them. It's not a whole locker. Still, they made of steel. They weigh 1,137,000 pounds, and they're bolted into the 2x4 wood, and then they're anchored with flying buttresses and concrete things so they don't fall forward and flatten people. Nothing kind of casts a pall on the show. So it is a mammoth exercise to get them to an event, put them together, and then set them up so that they're safe and they're fabulous and they can shine like a jewel in a setting. It's a big undertaking. I have to have a crew, this amazing team. Jim Clark, who is the keeper of the lockers, was talking to me on Sunday, and saying, "Yeah, I'm in, Abby. Let's do as many of these shows as we possibly can before his car breaks down because of the wait." And I said, "Well, let's do it." So we're going to be in Cornwall, Ontario, on April 23rd and 24th. It's a 2-day show. And I promised I would do Cornwall for 2020, and then COVID hit. So we have postponed it, and we're just so excited that we're going to be back. And they've got some amazing celebrity guests from the States, from different shows of the 80s, because the theme for Cornwall, for Cape, is the 80s. Shows you remember and shows that you love. And Randy and Carol Sauvé are the fabulous organizers of this event. I think they've been doing it for almost 10 years now. And every year, they just don't know what to expect. It's awesome because it kind of kicks off the year in Eastern Ontario. I think the only one earlier for the year is Toronto. I think they just had theirs a few weeks ago. So, but Eastern Ontario, really, Cape is it. So, and Cape stands for Cornwall and Area Pop Event, and their slogan is "Get Your Cape On." And so I'm thinking of it as we're superheroes. We're going to fly in and we're going to take care of this. The next show after that is a brand new show that has been created by my dear lovely friend Lance Moran, who created FanaticCon Ottawa in 2019. And FanaticCon Ottawa is a toys and collectible show. And he reached out to me and said, "The show needs a mom." And I said, "All right, dear." And so I came and had a great time. Brought a couple of crazy friends with me. We sort of hijacked a really big corner of the event. And it was memorable. It was awesome. Last fall was FanaticCon 2, and we were able to slide that in, as I said, in between the COVID lockdowns. And again, it was amazing because people were coming back kind of like little creatures coming out of the cave to see if everything's okay. And it was a reunion because they were coming to my booth saying, "Oh, you're back. I was hoping you were going to be back. Oh, I've missed you. And what fun we had last year. And how are you?" It was a total family reunion. And that included the ticket buyers who had come the year before. And they wanted to know if it was going to be the same, only better. And it was. So this year, Lance has created FanaticCon Brockville. And that show is going to be staged on Sunday the 15th of May. And I will, on my page, be posting the links where you can get your tickets, and you want to get your tickets, because it's a small show. The first year is always small, and we would like to knock it out of the park, right? Of course. So, and then the third show for Ottawa, FanaticCon 3, is August 14th, also a Sunday. FanaticCons are a one-day event for now. So, it's going to be a trifecta, because Jim Clark said, well, if we're going to go to Cornwall, why don't we take the lockers to Brockville and bring them home to Ottawa? And I said, are you serious? He said, yeah, I'll just wear my hernia belt. So I contacted my crew, and I contacted Lance, and I said, I need more space, because the lockers are like, where do you put an elephant? And he said, we'll find you space. We'll find you space. And I said, all right then. We're going to do the lockers. And I said, but we have to have a deal, Lance. We need to change the name of FanaticCon to Fanatic 40 Con, because it's the 40th anniversary of You Can't Do That on Television and the Care Bears. And I want everyone to know, I am not only bringing the lockers, I am bringing awesome, one-of-a-kind collectible souvenirs for the Care Bears that nobody has. I have, because I was 3 bears. I was 3 of the original 6 bears. And we had our debut in a production created in 1982, an animated film called The Land Without Feelings. And it was about a little boy who had decided he didn't care. And the Care Bears said, yeah, you do. Come here. That's not really how the story went, but that's how the Viking Care Bears felt about it. And Justin Cammie from the Kids Show was the little boy in that very first film. So it is a total huge reunion year, anniversary year, birthday month year for all of us. And if I can celebrate it, there's no reason you can't celebrate it too. There's no reason you can't be a Pivotry partner in this story, in this adventure, in this opportunity. I'm inviting you. Doors open. All you got to do is walk through. Not like Mom walks through doors and breaks things. No, you you do it with a little more finesse. And good morning, Miss Jessie. I just saw your hey, Abby. What we are going to do together, you and I, is we are going to nudge sneaky. They won't see us coming. They won't see us coming. I promise they won't see us coming. We're going to nudge into reality a Pivotry movement. We are going to invite and trigger and surprise and support and enable the idea that we can pivot to show one of our good sides and another and another and another, and we can get our friends in for a group shot like this one and create outcomes that were meant for us. Same old is not what we have to accept. Charles says, I'm glad the lockers were saved. You know, Charles, so many things were lost from that show. because, people think, well, it's just another show at the time. And then the building had a fire and everything was gutted and destroyed. So the memorabilia, the equipment, the unique elements that had been saved, set aside, put in storage to honor them at a later date, were rescued. And Jim Clark is one of the people we have to thank for caring enough to do that. He rescued a lot of things from that show. And on Sunday when we were on the phone, he said, would you like me to bring you a swatch of wallpaper? And I said, you know what? I'm good on the wallpaper. I stared at that wallpaper for a long time. I don't need to. I'm good. And he said, I don't have a lot left. So, otherwise he would bring for a show. And I said, no, hang on to it. There will be people who reach out to you who say it would mean everything to my dad or my mom or my grandmother. Because they always talked about it. And then, Jim, you'll work your magic. So, but there are so many things, and he was on a trip recently and he found a pair of slime socks, Nickelodeon socks, and said, well, I gotta buy those. And it's just remarkable the things that you come across. So these souvenirs, yes, Charles says, thanks, Jim Clark. Everything about Pivotry, by my definition, is honoring and respecting. Can we see that? Pivotry in motion. Pivotry in motion. Pivotry masters. Everything about Pivotry is a concept I have coined that is about knowing we came into the world equipped to survive. We came into the world equipped to thrive. We came into the world with all the qualities we need to be awesome and to cause the rest of the world the utmost damned astonishment. We have those tools. We just don't know where they are. And we don't even know that we use them. And we do, every day, all the time, without realizing it. So my goal, because I'm creating a vision, I'm making it come alive. My vision is Story Me TV, the production company that creates entertainment, that connects people through their stories on platforms that don't hold us hostage when there's a thing like COVID. I'm setting us free. I'm giving us the power to override, to shoot over and ahead the obstacles to get where we want to be. This is my whole backstory, my whole mindset about Story Me TV and Pivotry. And the reason I decided that we needed books is because I need to celebrate you first, so that you can see when you hold up your copy of your book and you say to your doubting friends, see, I'm a partner. I'm in this book. I'm walking here. I'm part of this movement. I've always been part of this movement. You can too if you want. We all can. You just, as this lovely man, Chad Hiltz, Bad Chad, who does custom car creations down east, says, you just need the will and the want. It's all you need. I say you need the will and the want, and you have to know that the tools are there. I'm the one who's going to show you how to find them. and say, oh, look at that. I just did that. So last night, I had a long conversation with my stage manager. I have a stage manager, get this, speaking of global, I have a stage manager who lives in Ohio. Yeah. He flies from Ohio to manage my shows. No words, just... So we were catching up and making plans. And he said, the Pivotry thing is exactly what we've been doing all along. It's about time that you thought of a name for it. And I said, I know, right? Slow off the mark. So he's coming from Ohio, and he's going to be at Cape. He's going to try his best for Brockville. He's definitely going to do his best to be there for Ottawa, because he's my stage manager. And if he's not there and present, front and center, he's got to direct it remotely, and that's, it's kind of like herding fireflies long distance. It's challenge enough in the moment in the room. So my superheroes are going to be there. Jessie's going to be there. Jessie's got a surprise for everybody. She's my photographer. And I've even got some wandering superheroes who are going to join me and hang out at the booth. So I have all kinds of reasons for you to come and take a look, stick your head through the door and say, hey, Christine. And Christine won't be there, but I can sub in. We can recreate the best moments of You Can't Do That on television. We can channel the best moments of Care Bears and Teddy Ruxpin. We can connect as pivot masters. I have pivot masters bracelets. We can talk about our plans, our goals, our connection, the way we're going to take on the world and take over moving forward. Jessie, come check us out to see Abby. Yeah, you're going to die when you see her outfit. It's going to be, it's perfect. It's so perfect. I can't stand it. I don't want to give the secret away. Jessie, don't give the secret away. It's just awesome. It's awesome beyond words how much fun everyone starts to have as soon as they realize there's a seat available on the boat. And there's training. You didn't have to come equipped with your own oar. We'll help you with that. Everyone gets excited. Everyone says, well, this is really cool. My stage manager, Greg, said, the evolution from fan watching you from a distance to, Abby, you have to stop fussing with that because the doors are going to open in 5 minutes. I need you here. At one of our events, I don't know whether it was 15 minutes. No, it had to be more. It had to be half an hour. Half an hour before everybody was coming, we realized we needed hangers and beer. We needed hangers for coats and beer for people who didn't drink wine or soda or something. And so I said to some random, completely astonished person, okay, mind the fort. Greg and I are going to get hangers and beer. And we went on a hangers and beer run. We drove off and found a one of those superstore things and ran in 40 hangers, 2 cases of beer, ran back, threw everything in the car, back, ran in the building, handed everything off. Me lipstick, fluffing her hair, and then looking nonchalant when the doors open. That's how much fun it is. That's how much fun Pivotry is. When Pivotry Partners say, I'm in. And when I say I'm in, where's my oar? Let's get this boat moving. Where's Paris? It's so exciting. So I always, I'm long today. Oh well. I always have a great story to share when I'm talking about something that I'm hoping galvanizes you. Um, Steve is asking, did Leslie ever come out of the lockers? I can't remember. I'm going to say no, he didn't, although anything is possible. The reason I'm going to say no, he didn't, Steve, is because the lockers are small. Um, the lockers, our show was geared toward an audience of teenagers, right? Young kids. And so to be on the show, you had to be representative of the kids who were watching. And you couldn't be taller than 5'8" because the lockers were small. So Leslie was a big guy. He was a tall man, and he had broad shoulders. He was a big guy. So I can't see that he would have come out of the lockers. He could easily, at any of the rehearsals, have stuck his head through the door to surprise the living daylights out of some kid who didn't see him coming. That would be a given, because, and you know what? That's my intro. That's my segue. I love you, Steve. Here's the thing about Leslie. Leslie is a Pivotry partner, was a Pivotry partner, in every sense of the word. If you turned your back on him, you were an idiot. Because, he took prisoners. He took all the best prisoners. He had a lightning fast wit, and he was a prankster, and he made it so much fun to work with him. And he pulled stunts on the kids, he pulled stunts on the crew. And when I joined the show, I had already done other series with him. We knew each other really well. He pulled stunts on me that were memorable. So yesterday I posted a photograph of Les and I in the dining room set. And if you scroll back when the video's over, he's sitting at the dining room table and he's got a silly, sneaky smirk on his face. And I'm behind him with my back to him. You can see me in the mirror. And I hadn't realized that was happening. And I have my hands over my face because it was my first, it wasn't my first episode, I don't think, but it was certainly my first season. And you can tell because I had no gloves. And I had a watch on. I had a watch on and no gloves, and we got rid of those. So the thing is, I didn't know what to do. I knew how to respond to him, but I didn't know what I was allowed to get away with in those early episodes. I very quickly learned that I was allowed to get away with a lot. but in the early sequences, not sure. And when I posted that yesterday, Brenda, who was our amazing producer, she said, I recognize that look. He was either just about or had just said something quietly witty that destroyed everything. Destroyed the crew, had everybody laughing, had everybody in the control room laughing, had the props people saying, okay, no, it's all right, I can get another one. He did it all the time. That is a Pivotry partner at the platinum level. He brought his game, all the letters of the alphabet game. He challenged you. He didn't inspire. He challenged you to bring your best, so that there was a meeting of energy and creativity and magic, the magic. And he inspired the kids the same way. I did my best to inspire the kids the same way. Some of the crew would do it to keep us all on our toes. And for those of you who watch episodes, if you go to YouTube and you type in You Can't Live on Television, and you can watch the episodes that are saved there, you can see something remarkable above and beyond in an amazing way that you do not see in a lot of television shows. So you'll need to go back and watch You Can't Do That and look for it. And when you recognize it, I'm going to tell you what it is in a second. When you recognize it, You can then go and look at your other favorite shows, and you'll see when it's missing. You'll be able to see it. So I'm going to tell you what it is. Our show, the Pivotry work that we did, the partnership we had, the challenging we set for each other, the shared goal that we had, created a climate of respect and curiosity and mischief and enjoyment. And you can see how much we all looked forward to being together and working together. It was bigger than, well, I respected him as a professional. Now that's a given. That's a given. Well, you know, I'm a professional. I need to be there. That's a given. We loved it. That's the only word. We brought that, our craving for that incredible feel-good. Every rehearsal was a feel-good. Sit around a boardroom table, reading the scripts, getting the kids familiar, getting us familiar with them, suggesting minor changes, showing up at ODOT, what time is it, Saturday and Sunday for makeup, work all day, take breaks. It wasn't a sweatshop. Take breaks, do our things. We loved it. It gave us an opportunity to be part of something that wasn't bigger than us. No, it gave us an opportunity to be part of something that was us. We were the recipe. What you saw, let's call it a cake. What you saw, you didn't say, oh, well, I liked this, or oh, I liked that. I mean, you could if you like. But we were so brilliantly crafted together and fused together that we became this insane, one-of-a-kind, never duplicated delicacy. It stands the test of time. Even though the outfits are awful, and some of them are really dated. Well, lots of shows are set in the 70s or the 80s or the 60s or the 50s or the 1400s. The humor, the jokes, the conversations, the connections aren't dated. They're not stuck in the 80s or stuck in the 60s. They're not dated because the connections are human. The connections are people who just love what they're doing. And they look forward to coming back. They look forward to the drudge part. They look forward to how many times have we shot this scene? We look forward to it. Why? Because we are making it high value, high octane magic. That show, how it came to be, what it represents, is a classic example of Pivotry in motion. Classic. So the story is I think it's from Halloween. I think it's from the Halloween episode. It's the scene where Les throws a bucket of water on me at the door. Those kids, they ring the doorbell and they run away, and I'm sick of it, and Lisa's in the sketch with him, and she's, but Dad, and he says, well, just you see, wait, Lisa, I've got a surprise for the next time, and he sits down, and the doorbell rings again. He says, there it is, now get the door, and he picks up a fire bucket. It's full of water, and when Lisa opens the door, he flings the contents of the bucket at the person standing on the other side of the door. It's not a kid, it's Mom. who rang the doorbell because she has her arms full of 2 bags of groceries. So that wasn't a surprise, right? You know that we rehearsed that. You know that we sat around the board table and Les looked at me with that gimlet look and that crooked smile because he was going to be throwing a bucket of water on me. And we both knew it. And I had to be up for it. And so I was wearing my costume, and then I had a coat on because Mom had gone out for groceries, a blue velvet coat and a hat and gloves. And these 2 bags of groceries, paper bags, sploosh. Okay, so there was something wrong with the first take. Either that or they were just being evil in the control room. So we had to do it again. I only had the one costume. So I wasn't going to go away and change. What was I going to change into? An end table? So Les said, gee, that's a shame. And they gave him a new bucket. And we did it the second time. And there was something wrong with that take. So he's grinning. Crew's laughing. And I'm getting really wet. So I turned to the props guy, Dean, and I said, do we have any scuba goggles? And he said, yeah. I said, okay. So he went to these scuba goggles and put them on, my hat on. So we go through the set, through the sketch. Lisa opens the door. Lisa's got the bucket, sees the goggles, and it interrupts his momentum. Half the water landed on him. And I said, there, because it was really cold water, and you're under these really hot lights, right? So when water hits you, it's a sort of a, and Les only had the one outfit for Dad as well, so he wasn't going to go change his pants. I feel so much better now, so I marched back out into the hall. By that time, the mom wig is soaking wet. There's a stray strand that's totally straight. And Dean and I are backstage. Studio director is back there. I'm like, yes. Everybody's laughing. And so then the next time, and we did it, and I'm sure that's the one we kept because it certainly wasn't an earlier one because the hair. And so the fun of that was getting even, yes. Challenging somebody that you really, really like, yes. Putting them on the spot, yes. Allowing them to share the moment where I'm soaking wet and so are you. Absolutely, absolutely. So to me, the joy factor in pivoting is searching through your Rolodex, through your files, to find the best version of you suited to take care of this particular moment, whatever this particular moment is, and present that part of you to handle it. My friend Charles has gone through a lot lately over the past few years. Health scares, health issues. He has rebounded, taken ownership of what he needs to do, and now they're also dealing with the echoing aftermath of Hurricane Katrina and the costs of living there and maintaining a home and the taxes and the damage to infrastructure and the overriding rising costs of other things as well, and now COVID. And so he and his lovely wife are making pivot plans to do something different, to do something new. Originally, they were literally going to sell their house and move, and then they had to pivot again. And they had to be more strategic, they had to be more sensible, they had to be much bigger picture planning, and do something in stages instead of all of a piece. Is it frustrating? Oh, in the dictionary under frustrating is their experience right now. Are they handling it? They are. They're leaning on each other. They're finding reasons to feel positive. They're proactively going after things that allow them to smile. And they are, when I had my long chat with Charles and his wife, he said, I look forward to watching your videos because it's reinforcing the recognition that I can do this, that I got this, I can handle this, and I'm not alone. I have people. I got people. I'll have my people call your people. He can reach out to me and say, I've got a problem. Let's talk about it. So I think that is amazing for a couple of reasons. One is, they're down there. They're down where you are, down south, and I'm up here. He's not reaching out to somebody who's around the corner and we're going to go grab a coffee. He's reaching out to somebody who's way up here. And we can both grab coffees and do a video call. And we're as close as the camera. We're as close as the phone. We're as close as a video when we need to be. That's what Pivotry Partners do, can do, as long as they understand what it means. I think it's magic what we're capable of. And I mentioned Charles, not over and above all these other incredible people who I've interviewed. It's just that Charles just posted something and there's his name, and I said, see, there's an example. There's an example right there. What we have among us is this magic. And for those of us who have played roles, if we are musicians or artists or actors or whatever, and we consciously, deliberately, at X o'clock, step outside the everyday us and put all of the everyday us in the later folder and leave that in the car, and consciously, actively step into the role they're paying us to perform, we know, we are aware, we recognize that we have all these different sides to us. We have all these different facets. We have all these different attacks and personalities and strengths and connections and vulnerabilities and creativity. And they all live in these different places. We know how to go get that because that's what we do for a living. That's why, it's barely a month and a half ago now, that's why I said the only difference between me and you is that I discovered that I had this ability and people paid me money to tap into that. I practiced. I got good at it. I can be Abby, and I can be Mom, and I can be Friend Bear just that fast because I've practiced. And I can do that whole voice trick thing. Add the props and it's golden. It's because I've practiced for years and years and years. It helped that I was a military kid. I got to be somebody new everywhere I went. Great. That previous me wasn't working that well at that posting. Let's try this. And so I have it, you have it. As I talk about it, as I give you real life examples of it, and you laugh at it, you're starting to see and say to yourself, well, hang on, I do that. I'm different me when I'm at a trade show. I have a friend down in the States in Massachusetts. He's a singer. And he said, Matt Broder, he said, my wife is always surprised when she comes to the show because who I am when I'm on stage singing is not the way I am at home. And it's a totally different me. And it's, in the beginning, it came as a surprise to her. And the more that it's worked for him, the more he's polished it. And she sometimes goes and sometimes can't. And for her, it's like knowing two people, two different people. And that's common for the partners and friends and spouses of artists and actors and musicians who channel into something else while they're performing, and then channel back out to the person they are at home. It's like, I'm married to 3 people, or I'm living with 7 people. The fact is that I'm also living with, connecting with 7, 10, 40 people all housed in one body with each of my friends, because I see their different sides coming out. And the wonderful thing is how we dovetail into that. Steve Endicott was pointing out that one of the shows that Leslie was very involved in Ottawa was a kids show called The Uncle Willie and Floyd Show. And Les was one of the actors, but he also wrote the show. And Willie and Floyd owned a hotel, the Willie and Floyd Arms. And the hotel concept allowed them to have hotel guests, which allowed them to have guest actors come on the show, which added, substance and wonderful plots and things. So Les would often pick up the phone and call me and say, so I've got a sketch, I've got an entire episode that we're doing, and I've got 3 characters for you to play. So when I would go and work on Willie and Floyd, I was working with Leslie and his brilliant partner, Bill Luxton. I was also working with the characters they were playing. So when Willie and Floyd were in the room, how I talked to Willie and Floyd was not the same, and it wasn't the same if I was a different character. So we were all having these different conversations on different levels in order to make the show work. So when you think about that, and you go back and watch, you can't do that on television. There were different characters I played who showed up in different locations than the house. When I played Lance's mother, I also played the announcer's mother at one point. I played a teacher. I played a health inspector who showed up at Barth's. I played somebody from the Censorship Bureau that showed up on the Link set and talked to Ross and the kids. Every one of those, Aunt Pookie, every one of those characters, the librarian, brought a totally different personality to the conversation I had with each one of those kids and with whoever Leslie was portraying in that moment. And you go back when you have time, and you Google YouTube, and when you get to there, you type in "You Can't Fit on Television," and you watch how the kids talked to Ross, and the way they talked to Barth, and the way they talked to Dad, and the way they talked to the teacher, and the way they talked to El Capitan was different. Because he was bringing different sides of him, right? If they did it when they were 12 or 10, Carol Hay, their brilliant coach, if they did it when they were 12 or 10 or 15, there's no reason you can't do it. If they had all the different characters they wanted to play. There was an episode where they were nerds, and Lisa and Christine were goofy. Just goofy. If they could do that at 14, you can do that. And you already do it all the time. You just don't know it. So, not only can you do it, and do you do it, you have Pivotry Partners who are in on it with you. who are ready to enable you, who are ready to leverage you to the next level, who are ready to stand with you, get you balancing on that breaking wave, get you running for the shore, get you in the boat, looking to left and right, listening to your captain, and leaning in. To get us to Paris in time for Fashion Week. Is that awesome? Garen, you just said an hour of awesomeness. Thank you. Today took longer. Today I was talking about you and us and magic. And does it make me cry? Well, of course it does. Am I sad? No. I'm overwhelmed with the delight because together you and I are going to cause the world the utmost damned astonishment, and they're never going to see us coming. So, a couple of things. We need to get more people into the YouTube channel boat. I had 72, I lost someone who maybe just joined by accident and then actually watched the thing and said, ooh, no, who knows. So I need more people. Today I will post the link to the YouTube channel. So nudge people and say, you got to watch this. If you didn't watch any of the others, you got to watch this one. Because finally, she's not talking about her. She's talking about us. She's talking about me and you and everybody. It's going to be amazing. So there's that. The second thing is, I've been posting the link to get tickets to go to Cornwall on the 23rd and 24th. And if you're within reach, and that weekend is free, you need to tell me why you're not coming. I mean, Greg's coming from Ohio. I'm just saying it's a 3-plane rent the car moment for him. Mind you, he is my stage manager, so there's that. But he's coming from Ohio. So if you tell me, well, it's such a long drive, it would take me an hour, please. So see if you can come. I want to meet you. I want you to stick your head out of the locker door and say, hey, Mom, hey, Abby, so that we can have that insane Pivotry moment together. One of our wonderful people who's on Facebook, Erin, said she got her locker fix at Ottawa Comic Con in 2018. She was at the booth and she did her locker moment, and it was amazing. And if you ask her, she will tell you what awesome fun it was. So I'm just putting it out there. So 23rd and 24th, you can come for one day, you can come back. Darren usually comes for both days. And we will have the time of our lives. You can experience the lockers. You can look at all the insane, crazy, ridiculous souvenir stuff that I've got. We can chat. We can have selfies together. I can even record voices into your phone. I mean, it's a party. It's birthday month and my 40th anniversary. You need to be there, right? So that's the first thing. No, that was the second thing. YouTube channel is the first thing. You got to come to Cape. And, check out Brockville, right? These towns, by the way, if you're not familiar, they're right along the 401. Cornwall and Brockville are right along the 401, directly across the St. Lawrence River from the U.S. So it's, drive, cross, go to the show, cross, go home. Easy peasy. So there's that. The other thing is, I'm going to be back on Thursday, obviously, with more stuff about Pivotry, with more stuff about the book project, with more stuff about who's going to be at Cornwall and who's going to be coming to Ottawa and who might be in Brockville. So exciting. And I want you to know it. I want you to get all wound up and fired up about it and saying, you know what, let's do this. All right? That's what I want. So I'll be back on Thursday. Between now and then, you know the drill. Be good to you. You're one of my partners. You're in the partnership. You're in the partnership. We can't do it without you. Okay? And hug your loved ones. What they put up with from you. Oi. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for hanging in. This was a long show. Bye for now. It's not letting me end it. It doesn't want me to go away. Isn't that funny? End the live video. There we go. Bye, guys.